Welcome to Lucia's Vegan Lifestyle, your show for compassionate living without sacrifice. Vegan cheese, and it's delicious. Recent articles in major publications have featured cultured vegan cheeses. One article says, but make it delicious, where I place an and it's delicious, and claims that no one can go from vegetarian to vegan because dairy cheese is, quote, too powerfully delicious. Yet vegans know that this is simply untrue. Living cruelty-free is much more important than subjective taste. But now we have them. Another publication posed the question, vegan cheese, is the world ready to eat it? I say the world is crying out for it, and hell yes, this is what we've dreamed of. With me on this episode of Lucia's Vegan Lifestyle is Lori Robin, founder of Cheese Hound, who makes artisanal cultured vegan cheese, and it's delicious, healthy, and sustainable. Join us in the kitchen as Lori surprises me with one dish and shows us how to make another, gnudi, Italian ricotta balls, both using her mozzarella and Il Pazza ricotta. We'll start our feast with a caprese salad and find out what got Lori started making vegan cheese, living sustainably as a person and as a vegan brand, all the reasons to be vegan, and how it enters into every aspect of life: animal rights, human rights, environmentalism, health, and society as a whole. And we'll pair Lori's recipes with vegan wines from Vegan Wines. Lori, thank you so much for coming and bringing us this wonderful spread of your amazing Cheese Hound cheeses.
Well, thank you for asking me.
Yeah,
It's great to be here.
So let's have a sip of wine first.
Okay.
We did cheers, but... Oh, that's lovely. And this is the Pandolfi Price Raccoon Sauvignon Blanc from my Vegan Wines. Really nice. And so I've been waiting to have you on this show. It seems like forever. It seems like before I even started the show. I'm really happy to have you here. Tell us what got you started making vegan cheese.
It was during a dinner. I went to dinner at a restaurant in Hudson, and they brought me vegan cheese, and I had to send it back. And that week I started making cheese for myself.
And it was like it wasn't like an artisanal cheese like yours. It was a commercial.
It was a commercial cheese. Yeah, I believe so. Yes, it was. And I that's really what really got me into it, because I was like, well, I just don't do cheese anymore. And
so
then
you hadn't had cheese in a while.
Oh God,
since
ages.
Until
yes.
that point.
And I thought, oh, okay, that was the first vegan cheese I'd ever had. And I thought, oh, all right, nope. And so Cheese Hound then unfolded from me just making cheese for myself and giving it out to friends over a period of 3 years before Cheese Hound actually became a licensed manufacturer.
And so were you just making kind of, let's say, a plain cheese at first? And then
Just all
with
different stuff.
Great.
From everything I could grab from what I remembered of dairy, what I'd done, what I just thought, okay, I'm just gonna go for this.
Amazing.
So it was like, from playing with thistle and nettles for coagulation, and really going into it, coming from a conservation and restoration background. I had been used to really reconstituting recipes that were hundreds upon hundreds of years old, and turning them into working recipes. So for me it was like, wow, this is just like that. But
Cool. It's funny because
and really using plant life stuff around me.
oh my God, I love that. There's kind of a newfound passion among some people now who are foraging and making dishes like that now, right? It's really fascinating
Absolutely.
to me. I love it because my parents, as you probably know, grew up in rural southern Italy. And it was hilarious growing up as their child in New York because, you know, I would be outside playing and like pick a daisy and bring it to my mom and she would go, oh, go gather the leaves. And
That's right, exactly.
What does she want? I brought her a flower.
Exactly.
What does she want? The leaves. And it was dandelion greens,
Exactly.
which is one of my favorite things to eat. So tell us about, so right now in front of us.
This is the mozzarella, and I pronounce it Mutz because it's spelled M-U-T-Z, and it's just a play on Cheezehound being a dog, so it's a mutt. Although Cheezehound's not a mutt, he's the Mastino Napolitano.
Oh.
So there you go. So should we have a go at the mozzarella, which is actually served best at room temperature.
Okay, which it is now.
Was that nice?
To have a real bufala mozzarella like this is one of the things that I thought I would have to live without for the rest of my life,
right.
You know, being vegan. It's a sacrifice I made, right? But now that we're able to have it and at this quality that you make, that gives you know, the mozzarella napoletana doc for its money.
You know, it's interesting because when I first started making cheeses, I just ate them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're special to me for occasion.
Mm-hmm.
They just are because, and so when I taste it, because I haven't had the mozzarella for a bit now, it's like I think, oh, okay, I get it. Otherwise, it's a, you know, it's a job, a love job, but still.
I know exactly how you feel. I don't make cheese, but I always say that my filmmaking is artisanal, right? Because it's all kind of handmade and community and handmade. And, you know, and I'm like, I don't want to watch my film. I've seen it 200 times, but then when I see it, I'm like, my baby.
Yeah, that's it. When I taste it, that's how I realize I should eat this more often. However, can I jump there?
Oh my God, yeah. So Lori has brought us a surprise. She still hasn't told me what it is that she's making, this special dish that she prepared.
So we have a truffle dough.
Oh my God.
But just with a little bit of truffle in it. And this is a fusion because this is, this has mozzarella and ricotta inside with spinach and fennel pollen. And it's a pierogi though, so it's fusion. It's like a Polish Italian. So we drop them in.
With a lot of steam.
With a lot of steam, and we get a steamy photograph. Like ravioli, they'll rise to the top on the rolling boil.
Okay.
And that's when they'll be ready to go into the oil.
I also love your cheese because it's so, let's say, nutritious and sumptuous, and because it's made of nuts, you really kind of can't, you savor it. You know, I love it for that reason too. You know, I've always been taught to appreciate my food, right? And to savor it,
right?
Especially as a vegan.
As opposed to me who's inhaling.
No, do. No, I was saying. I'm just talking away.
No, but yeah, they are healthy because they're made with culture as opposed to powdered probiotics. Which under a microscope shows truly billions and billions of colors.
Oh wow!
Whereas a probiotic tablet does not read that way under a microscope.
I love this combination of science as well. How did you discover that? How did you discover?
Well, I have a lot of background in chemistry and sciences just because of the work that I did.
That didn't even occur to me. So
Yeah.
tell us, because you're referencing your past past life and work. Tell our viewers.
Which was conservation and restoration of wood, stone, and alloy polychrome materials. But I'm a carver and a gilder, really, and I moved away from any desire to do museum work, because we used to call it spitting and scratching, because it's just so terribly like boring. And for 3 years when I first started these, I went up so many different avenues with so many different cultures, coagulants, just
Wow.
and I also have a new line coming out, so that'll be coming out soon.
Oh, cool.
But not tomorrow, but very soon.
I'm going to be bugging you to come back on the show. So
You don't have to beg me. Okay, so now look.
Ooh la la.
Okay, so now we're going to put these into the oil. So now I always make the dough ever so slightly different. Today I made a heavier dough so that after it's been browned, frying, it'll still have, in some places, instead of a fine crispy, we'll leave a little bit of a doughy, a chewy. I just love those pieces. So I also do like morel, potato, and onion ones with my Molchanok cheese, which is smoky.
Okay.
And that's kind of crazy too. But I thought, one thing at a time. I know, I didn't want to overwhelm you all at once.
You already did. She brought me this entire amazing. So tell us about some of these cheeses that you brought today.
Okay,
all of these cheeses that you brought today.
Okay, so truffle, which is everybody who knows Cheezehound knows truffle, and tramp will be happening soon because it is coming up to ram season, and the truffle is actually the word truffle. I thought, well, chives and truffle, let's name it truffle. And then, as one does, I thought, I wonder if truffle is a word. And I Googled it, and do you know what it is?
What does it mean?
Okay, it means something. It is a person imitating the sound a cat makes when it purrs. That's the truffle. And this one is pure cashew. And the ferdietta is feta, cockney rhyming, but not quite. And so that's a feta. And that's tofu based. They're all organic. You can cook with these as well. So you can make sauces. You take just a drop of that and throw it into pasta, and it makes a wonderful Alfredo. You add just maybe a little bit of, I'm partial to hemp seed milk, but homemade only, because it's just pure, because it's filled with all your omegas.
I have some hemp seeds which I put into my salad
There
or my
you go.
smoothie. What is your favorite of all your cheeses?
Other ricotta. It's just lovely.
When people
it tastes
say
good.
I can't go vegan because of cheese, I'm like, where have you been? There's in the past 10 years, Lori?
Oh yeah.
You've been 2014.
So I started in 2011. There was nobody. 2014. There were only a few artisanal cheesemakers, which still maybe one or two of those are still artisanal and didn't go down
The commercial
way.
the mass
But there's lots of people producing artisanal vegan cheese, which is great because in my humble opinion, production should be in as many hands as possible. And I really, I think that's part of being vegan as well. To have a social sensibility as opposed to a corporate sensibility.
I want it to be available to everybody, but I agree with you.
Well, if there's 5,000 artisanal makers, then it is going to be available to everybody.
Absolutely. They look very, very good.
Really good.
Thank you. Look at that. I'm so excited. Look at how beautiful these are. Lori. Wow.
It'll be very hot.
The sound of that crunch is like,
You smell the pollen? Oh my God. I'm like a pollen freak. It's wild fennel pollen that comes in from Italy. What do you think? Is that nice? Yeah? Did I do it?
Oh my God, that is so exquisite. And now let's make gnudi and pair them with a perfect vegan wine. We're back in the kitchen with Lori from Cheese Hound, who is going to show us how to make a recipe using her incredible ricotta Il Pazza from Cheese Hound. Lori, what are we making?
We're making melanzana gnudi balls.
So what is the first step?
Okay, so the first step is we have the eggplant in the oven, and we're grilling it to soften it up because we're going to be scooping out the insides of it.
Okay.
We have peppers. The peppers are going to go into the sauce. We'll put some ramps. And notice we only have the tops because we forage sustainably and we leave the bulb in the ground.
Okay.
These also get dried and will go on tramp. Everybody knows tramp, which will be out soon.
Yay!
All right, push the tramp.
I just want to say that I love, besides the taste of this and that it's vegan, I love that it comes in this, that you make it in this form because, you know, as a vegan, there was always like, you know, oh, now I can't have cheese, right? Which is an issue for a lot of people. But now you're making things that I remember from my childhood that I thought I would never have again. And this form, the way you said you have it in the basket,
yeah,
is exactly how when I would go to Calabria, where my parents are from, in the summers, we would go to the local cheese maker and get it exactly like this. So I love it. It makes it even more special.
Excellent.
All right, shall we?
Yes. All right, we're just going to throw these in. Right, so this is completely for the sauce.
Okay.
So we're going to use these chopped up finely. Oh, we have some mozzarella.
We have this wonderful wine, this Terre del Gufo Chiaroscuro, which is sent to us from Vegan Wines. And it's a vegan wine from Calabria.
Cheers.
Cheers, salute,
yes.
To your health, to your vegan health.
And all of that. Oh no.
It's beautiful.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I love this color.
It's a bit appley. Oh, that's really nice.
Oh, wow.
Look how it gets so lovely, isn't it?
Oh, God, it smells like home. You know those scents that just bring you back?
I'll just drop a little bit of that into it as well.
Nice. All pretty colors.
It is, isn't it?
I wanted to ask you, it's a bigger question, but I think as far as being vegan, you know, our responsibility, you know, if we're caring for animals and caring for human lives, then it extends into the environment.
Well, I think the most important life to take care of is the earth itself.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
It's more important than people or animals or anything else because it will take care of itself if we take care of it.
Even now, right, during this pandemic.
Right down to our food.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, the killing of biodiversity so that, you know, we see 2 different types of bananas when there's 1,000 types of bananas. You know, and part of that is, you know, I think vegan isn't just about being kind to animals. It's about being kind to the earth.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I'm really obsessed with using completely sustainable packaging.
For vegans, there's a whole range of things, right? The essential part of veganism is the animals' lives. But for me, having been veg for so long, you know, I realized all of the, you know, the health benefits that extended into the other aspects of my life, the environment, human rights, right? The way that animal agriculture affects migrant workers, and it's all connected to the larger story,
absolutely.
Our larger society. So it's on this show I want to bring all aspects of it for you guys. Then you can decide. But I want to expose people to all.
And I think that veganism on its own in that specific little detailed box gets the same bad, call as feminism does, because it doesn't address the wider issue
Right.
of what these things should really be about.
Right. And then also like feminism.
You know, it also disenfranchises when it's in the hands of the privileged.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, when it's meant to be a liberation of something very different.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I think it's like just that one word.
Yeah. And then I think people, because the norm is so ingrained in us, right? Patriarchy, you know, eating meat is so ingrained in us. Things, right? We get used to our normal routine. We're creatures of habit.
Absolutely.
So when something foreign is introduced, you know, the larger society gets kind of panicked.
Yeah.
Because everything that we understood to be, you know, the way things are, we suddenly have to think about, you know, decide what our place in it is, and you know, and what to do about it, whether we're going to, you know, look into it and be part of great change for the planet and all of humanity and our fellow sentient beings, or, you know, or turn a blind eye.
Well, you can't. You know, if you turn a blind eye, you're part of the problem, not the solution.
Yeah.
It's kind of that simple.
I'm seeing, now that I'm on Twitter, which is a new thing for me as on the show, I'm learning a lot, because I think being vegan as long as I have, and when I became vegan, it was a different story. You know, we were smaller. You know, I think we only imagined how diffuse it would be now. But I'm seeing a lot of things like, you know, elitism and accessibility. So these are things that I want to start to explore on the show. I already started, like we've done community, giving back to the community here in my neighborhood. And I really want this show to serve, you know, the most wealthy celebrity who decides to become vegan and wants to know what Michelin-rated restaurants will make, you know, the same amuse-bouche I had on Lake Como, right? Or someone who's shopping at the bodega, you know, and is like, you know, what's vegan here? How can I access, you know, how can I have a healthier diet, or merely start making choices to, you know, to live a more compassionate lifestyle. Yeah,
I think that's it. I think that veganism really is the last bastion of altruism, but it has to be embraced fully to be so.
That's true.
They're done. Okay, so see how soft they are? They're uber soft. We are going to let them cool for a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Let's flip them though.
Okay. I love how roasted those are.
Yeah, those are really nice. That's perfect. Now what we're going to do is add organic cherry tomatoes. I think they're superb. I think they're absolutely beautiful. And look at that. The peppers have actually, and the garlic is actually going, you know, right soft. But wait.
What are you doing there?
You always put wine in everything.
I love that you put it in the can too.
We don't really care what color the wine is. It could be any color. We don't care. Now that's quite a bit. And we're going to let that cook off a bit as well. Okay.
So now you scooped out the inside of the eggplant.
Correct. We scooped out the inside of the eggplant. We added a bit of spices and herbs. We put in the rams that we chopped up, and a bit of the egg replacer. Now what we didn't do was we didn't put water with the egg replacer, because the liquid that will absorb the egg replacer is going to be from the aubergine, from the eggplant itself. So I'm just going to put a little bit of breadcrumb. I would say we're going to use about a cup in all.
Oh, look at this chunk of ricotta.
This is the first time I've actually used ricotta in this.
Oh,
okay,
that's
I think that's
amazing.
interesting. Red chili pepper. Oh, yes.
This is a Calabrian household.
The really fun thing about cooking is really to just do anything and not to be afraid you're going to ruin it, because you can't.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just like explore, like.
Oh, I've had disasters.
Yeah, I mean.
That I'm like, well, I'm eating this anyway because, you know, we want it to look pretty, but in the end, the important thing is
how it tastes. And this is the texture as well. Look at that.
Oh, love it. It's perfect.
Beautiful.
But it smells so good.
God, it really does, doesn't it? So here, putting them in. So we're just going to brown them in this, and then we are going to put them in the oven.
Okay.
So now we're going to throw these in the, well, we're going to place them in the oven. You really want to get them cooked inside now. This looks quite pretty. So now we've plated our gnudi.
So we had them in the oven for we don't know how long.
We don't know how long because as
hour?
long as it takes to chat and have a glass of wine or two.
Yeah.
But you'll know because you'll smell them and you'll look at them in between.
I wish you could.
Now what we're going to do is we're just going to drop a lot, not a bit, because a bit is, why drop a bit when you could drop a lot?
She asked me I asked her how much mozzarella.
And she said it can never be enough.
And I said, don't ask me, I'll do the entire ball of mozzarella on this. Especially Cheese Hound, forget it.
This is actually really a quick cook. You can take as long as you like or as short as you like, and you're just going to get a wonderful flavor. And if you drink wine while you're cooking, you know it's going to take longer. Don't stress it. Don't worry about if it burns. It's all going to taste good.
Look at this, you guys. Look at how amazing this is. Oh, God.
Is it nice? Do we do good?
Amazing.
Oh, it's really nice, isn't it?
Oh, my God.
Very spicy.
So delicious. Thank you so much,
Thank
Lauren.
you.
Thank you. What a treat. Lucia's Vegan Lifestyle has partnered with an executive chef, my sister, Chef Maria Grillo Abel, to create original vegan recipes like this rich chile relleno with Cheezehound's Grey Day Blue paired with a vegan wine. Find these recipes and more on the Lucia's Vegan Lifestyle Instagram and Facebook at Lucia Vegan Lifestyle. Watch Lucia's Vegan Lifestyle to live your best vegan life. Subscribe to the LVL YouTube channel to catch up on previous episodes, and follow on social media for exclusives and to find out what's airing next. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, hit the subscribe button below to help me keep the show going, and hit the like button to show your support. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Lucia's Vegan Lifestyle, your show for compassionate living without sacrifice. I'm Lucia, I'm vegan, and this is my lifestyle.